Hello everybody, and in today's video we are going to be discussing whether Ninjago gimmick suits have slowly been getting worse over time. And what I mean from this is, if we have a look at the Dragon's Rising suits here, as you can see they start off with quite a lot of unique printing with these ones here, and then slowly they just get slightly downgraded to each one. And we're going to be comparing them with previous gimmick suits and to answer the question whether they have been slowly getting worse in quality. So we'll start off with the Dragon Spinjitzu ones. Now, these are the Dragon Spinjitzu ones, and these are actually some of my favourite gimmick suits. So I'm not really going to have much to complain about these. I love the transparent arms used on all of them with the darker torso colours, which really makes them stand out a lot more. Especially Lloyd, which is one of my favourite. This is one of my favourite Lloyd minifigures they've ever made. Out of just Lloyd in general. So these are all really good suits in my opinion. And it is a shame that they've reused legs, because well, we'll see with some of them, most of the time the heads are reused, or most of the time minifigures will have at least one reused part, not counting the mask. And so with these, the legs are reused and the head's reused. The head I don't mind about, obviously, as it's double-sided, and I like to give it the powered up side as it really shows their power. So that makes it different enough in my opinion. Also, the masks are nicely printed, which is quite different because obviously the regular suits weren't printed. But the legs are reused, and I do think it doesn't look that bad on Kai and Lloyd. But Nia, the dark red and silver stands out a little bit. But yeah, in comparison to what we're going to look at next, I don't think any of these figures are bad, and I think all of them are a minimum 7 out of 10. Now we are going to take a look at the Dragon's Rising or Rising Dragon Strike minifigures, and this is where the problem starts to ease in, as obviously, well, with first of all Aaron, he got a suit which is really cool, even though he never did it in the show. But this minifigure is not very interesting. I do like his mask. I do like the gold and orange combo, but the problem is this just reuses his season 1 suit, and it doesn't really work, as you can see, because you can see his t-shirt underneath and his pockets, which just kind of makes the whole thing not work that well in my opinion. And yeah, it doesn't match Kai and Nia, because obviously Kai and Nia reuse their mech pilot suits, which yeah, it is a shame they're reusing them, but at least the gold and everything kind of works together. With Aaron, the armor just feels quite out of place and unnecessary. But yeah, so that's the problem with these ones, is Kai and Nia do have exclusive hoods and different armor compared to the other suits. Aaron has the different armor as well. But the problem is they're reusing these parts here with the torso, obviously. This came in the mech sets, and they're quite easy to obtain. And I do believe a few of them appeared in magazines. And it doesn't really make getting the gimmick sets worth it, obviously, for realistically one exclusive piece on each of the ninja out of Kai and Nia being these masks. And yeah, and that's another thing. In this show, the Dragon's Rising, they the Rising Dragon Strikes. It kind of had a similar look, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, to these suits here, where they're transparent and more powered up. As for this, just looks like it could be a normal wave of ninja suits. It doesn't really have that special powered up feel that gimmick sets usually have. And finally, what I think could be the worst gimmick suits of Ninjago's history is the elemental, I don't even know what these are called, the Dragon Spinjitzu ones. Basically the ones that came in this set here. Now Sora is the only one I have. I actually did get Kai and Aaron from a magazine, which kind of saved me quite a bit of money there. But yeah, so that's the problem with these suits. We'll start with the worst, that being Sora. Only one part of this minifigure is new, and that's the mask. And I wouldn't complain if it's similar to Kai, where the torso and legs came out this year. This minifigure's been around since 2023 now, and I just think it's time for a bit of an upgrade with Sora. I do like the white and gold, it goes really well together, but it's just when you keep getting minifigures with the same torso and legs, it just doesn't look as interesting on display, as it kind of just looks like customs that people would have made from spare Zane parts and their old Sora minifigures with the white especially. So it is a shame, and I do think LEGO should be putting a little bit more budget into the new characters. Then we've got Aaron here, and obviously Aaron's minifigure was new, but it's not the best version of this minifigure, as I believe the version with the black armor is much better. I don't have that one yet, sadly, but I think he's cooler with the black armor, and he looks better, obviously, because the gold it just kind of stands out quite a bit. There's no gold on the minifigure. If it was black or gunmetal grey, I think this would be a really cool figure. But yeah, obviously, Aaron has been using a lot of gold, obviously, as we look at this suit and even his Season 1 suit, which I've got his armour for here, which he always has used gold, but I think black would have been better in the context of the evil Aaron kind of thing. But yeah, unlike Sora, at least he got a new torso with the pink dragon and the black arm. Then finally Kai, who I do think is the best, obviously, because it just kind of works better. He has the powered up face, which I like on powered suits. Now Sora sort of does with her glowing eyes, but they come on like most of the figures, and it doesn't feel as special. And then Aaron's still got his just single-sided head. So yeah, that is the problem with, obviously, these they don't feel as high of an effort, as no extra design had went into them, unlike these. And just to kind of prove my point, I'm going to compare quite a few of the other Gimmick minifigures with some of these, just to really show a comparison. So, in front of me now, we have a bunch of Gimmick suits from spanning all the way from 2018 all the way up to 2025. And I used Kai mainly because he's obviously the common theme, with the 3 Dragons Rising ones. And then I did have to use a Zane here because I don't have this Kai one. So, as you can see here, this Zane, these suits are quite unpopular, but that's because I think it's similar to the modern ones where they're reusing a lot of parts that don't necessarily look good together. I really like the torsos, but the legs are just reused and the masks are reused as well, which is why they're a bit more controversial compared to some of the other ones. So yeah, we're going to remove the Zane now, obviously, because I think it'll look better with a bunch of Kais. So, now, as I discussed earlier, the reuse of parts. Now, the reuse of parts I've not really had a problem with them, obviously, because most of these Gimmick suits here have at least 1 or 2 reused parts. Obviously, we can see these legs are quite a common theme. They're reused legs, and that's a reused leg. So, reused legs aren't really an issue, because they sort of work well with the suits that they're designed for, obviously, because they came out the same year. And yeah, so this is what I'm saying. As you can see, if we get these 3 up here, or including the Spinjitzu one here, I would put these lot in the same category as this Kai here, where I think they all have enough exclusive parts to make it feel more valuable for a figure. As you can see, obviously, they're all powered up in some sort of, well, beside this one, but they've all got elemental feel and they all look unique with all different styles, like the red and gold, the red and orange, the full red with transparent. So yeah, this is why I think these ones have a good amount of detail and kind of justify being worth the £10 mark for the Gimmick suits. And then obviously there's this Kai here, which is sort of just a generic ninja suit for the epic battle. But once again, this had a brand new torso and brand new legs, which also helped. So yeah, I think the way I'm seeing it is, if as long as it has at least 3 exclusive parts, it kind of feels worth the money in a way. Because obviously this Kai here, exclusive face, because this face came out before the Dragon Power one. So yeah, this is kind of like got exclusive mask, exclusive torso, exclusive face. This one only had 2 exclusive parts, but obviously I think with the powered up face, it does improve the look. Yeah, and same with Burst, it's got an exclusive torso and face, exclusive face, hair and torso, and then obviously torso, face, mask and hair. But whereas with these, they just feel lazy. They don't feel like any effort's gone into them. They've just thought, let's make it more powerful, let's add gold on. And as if that's going to solve the problem, which in my opinion, it's not. So yeah, that's kind of my overall thoughts on Ninjago Gimmick suits. I think they are slightly getting worse over time. And hopefully they do go back to what it was like, where they were creating exclusive prints for all the figures. So yeah, that's sort of a different type of video to what I usually make. It's a little bit of a criticism one, but I just thought it would be an interesting topic to talk about. If you did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.